You will recall the Jedi are the incredibly hypocritical light side users of the Force, and their main enemy through the movies that we see them, the 6 plus the Clone Wars, which is all that I'm covering in these videos, are the Sith, the dark side users of the Force. We also mentioned that just because you use the light side or the dark side of the Force doesn't necessarily make you good or evil. The Force is just very appropriately named. Using lighter or darker emotions conjures different powers. But I think one could very easily argue that there are no sides of the Force, just the Force. In any case, what I'm getting at is just because the Sith use the dark side of the Force doesn't mean they're bad people. But that being said, the Sith as individuals are pretty horrible, murderous, take over the galaxy type people, yeah. And calm down, I know what you're thinking. Jay, have you seen the title of this video? Are you calling all of us, bad people? No, of course I'm not. Well, let me explain. Let's take a look at the Sith Code. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. Kinda like looking in the mirror, isn't it? Well, except for that whole peace is a lie part. Honestly though, if you remove those first and last lines, this is not such a horrible code to live by. In fact, even if you don't realize it, you might already be living by this code. Through passion, I gain strength. Here's the thing about the Sith Code. It's very honest, and unlike the Jedi Code, it's a little less open to interpretation. Through passion, I gain strength is more of an honest fact than it is something to live by. But it's the realization of this fact that's important. The more passionate you are about something, the stronger you grow, the better you get at it. Hard work and dedication for something you care about generally pays off in your favor. In fact, the next line is basically just that. Through strength, I gain power. You could probably take this as literally as you wanted, like, yeah, if I have stronger muscles than you, I can punch you more powerfully. But I don't think that's necessarily what they're going for, and I think it rings true in all of our lives when you think about it. The more you work at something, the higher you will rise, and that doesn't have to mean politically or at work or anything. It could be as simple as just having more knowledge than somebody. In fact, I bet many of you could, and probably will down in the towel section, argue Star Wars circles around me simply because you know more. Your passion has given you more knowledge, and that knowledge is the strength you need to overpower me in an argument. You see what I did there? Now even if you prove me wrong, you prove me right. I can't lose. And you know why? It's because through power I gain victory. Haha! I win. But victory in this case I don't think necessarily means defeating someone. I think the victory they're referring to is freedom. It's becoming the person you wanted to be. It's having a feeling of self-worth. In fact, the next line is, through victory, my chains are broken. You have worked hard to become the person you wanted to be. You have freed yourself from the judgment of others. You are, ironically, at peace. Which brings us back to that first line. Peace is a lie, there is only passion. Now you could interpret this by saying that the peace that the Sith ultimately seek is a lie. It is unattainable, and therefore their constant quest for power is never ending. They're always trying to grow stronger, they're always trying to become more victorious, and in that way they become corrupt. Except that the whole code builds on itself, each line preceding the next one very carefully. And this code starts with that line rather than ending on it, so I don't think that's how it's intended. It's actually a pretty honest statement. Peace is a lie, there is only passion. Unlike the Jedi Code, which chooses to ignore conflict and pretend there is only peace and harmony, the Sith Code acknowledges that people undergo personal conflict in their daily lives, and their code is the steps to rise above that conflict. All in all, the Sith Code is just easier to grasp and is probably a much more widely accepted view of today's society. I'm sure that if you were presented with the Sith and Jedi codes without the label Sith and Jedi, and without mention of the Force, you would probably choose the far less harsh, more self-fulfilling path of the Sith. It's honest, it's a path for your own development, and it seeks inner peace. And that is why we are all Sith. So then why are they all horrible, murderous people? I mean, if their code is a path to inner peace, why are their actions a path to taking over the galaxy? My reasoning, as the saying goes, is absolute power corrupts absolutely. We, as regular non-Force using people, are able to apply the code to our daily lives to achieve success. Sith, as users of the greatest Force the Force in the galaxy have absolute power and cannot appropriately apply the code to themselves. They are in fact moving that first line down to the last line. They are choosing to treat the peace they seek as unattainable. They are trying to achieve more victory, more power, and ultimately more corruption. Well, they're probably not trying to achieve that, but that's what they're getting at.